Hello, this is my assessment number 1 recording, the narrative analysis. Now I am showing to you my pre-task assertion in which I highlighted in red every aspect of my conception of the role of education that I think have changed until now. Now I will show you the comparison between previous and current thoughts about the role of education. Education has a duty. Education has a duty in that, firstly, I thought that education and teachers mainly were the ones fully in charge of education, as I ignored important external aspects like context, duties, and self-compromise towards education. In the beginning, I did not consider the impact of the environment and our self-compromise about education. In my personal experience, I have always done great with my studies. You know, I have never been the red mark student, so I did not need to look closer to such important factors. Now, I am able to relate the willingness to learn with the context in which one studies, because I remember the case of Michael, the protagonist of El Reemplazante series, who could not take full advantage of school because he had so many worries as like teaching, as going to school, having a work part-time and taking care of his little sister. Another aspect, neither I thought about self-commitment with studying at all. I cannot just wait for knowledge to suddenly enlighten my mind, because big part of my success depends on my autonomy and responsibility. But in my case, always happened that I did good almost every time, but because I was involuntarily good at it, not from heart, from hard work at least. Let's go to the second one. Everyone receives a proper education. Once again, coming from my own experience at school, I used to assume that due to the current educative laws, human and children rights, every person could access to equitable and quality and affordable quality education. This point comes out due to my personal qualities, because I have never experienced discrimination due to any skin color, neither I suffered from any disability or mental impairment. So I was never fully aware of scholar exclusion until very recently. Thanks to readings from this course and others such as IEL and Methodology 1, I am capable to recognize that throughout the world, and especially here in Chile and vulnerable families, there are plenty of students that are excluded day by day from the educative system by reasons such as special educational needs, repeating studies that give up on their education, or physical mental disabilities. Let's proceed with the last comparison. The belief that every school teaches the same or the same way. I used to think that every school was somehow tied to the curricular requirements. So students across the country will share similar points of view towards social stratification and social roles. Also about the educative system. This mentality of mine pays debt to the fact that I come from a technical school, so my classmates and I never were involved in social demands or struggle due to the lack of opportunities, because one used to say, okay, the PSU, it's just a test. How does the educative system ruin my life with just a test? But the reality is that I was so naive that I did not realize nor relate that much of the educative struggles that society faced were related to oppression itself. In that sense, now I can take a deep consideration of Freire's pedagogy of the oppressed. So I am able to realize that there have always been a dominant class that teaches its students to become the oppressors of the most vulnerable, the oppressed. Now, as means to close the presentation, my conclusion. After the analysis, I can say that I have developed a more holistic vision towards the role of education, because as you just evidenced, my original concept of the role of education was quite limited the first weeks, but now I own a broader point of view, including aspects such as social class conscience, systematic exclusion, and the personal contributions contribution, sorry, oneself can do to contribute for educative practices to persist or fail in time. The facts I mentioned will help me, the facts I mentioned throughout the presentation will help me as a future teacher to guide how I treat my students, as I will be able to recognize that there might be external factors that affect my students' performance, such as work, family, friends, as I will be able at the same time to promote values as the one promoted by Freire, and accept that there are different realities that will converge inside my classroom as I build a better society by teaching students how to become better citizens, as teaching them how we do it. And that's my presentation. Thanks for watching.